What's up, Phil? Hi.
What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good. You good?
All right. I'm good, real
Nice. Can you tell, please, people who are watching this, who are you and what are you doing and what's your background?
good. Sure. My name is Phil Daru. I am a performance coach for American Top Team. I also own DaruStrong Performance Systems. I train some of the top UFC fighters in the world, along with other athletes in general. Background, I played college football, Division I for Alabama State University. I got my degree in sports medicine and exercise science. Was a professional fighter for 8 years, which at that time I was also training and competing in other sports like strongman and powerlifting.
Nice.
I've done some bodybuilding. I've done a bunch of different things. Now I'm competitive in powerlifting and still coaching as well.
Nice, nice. How many fighters are you training or do you train in ADD?
At the moment, we are at 63, I believe, on and off about 65, give or take. I've trained over 200 fighters in my past 10 years
Nice.
of doing this, and yeah.
Yeah, so some of them are in camp, some of them off camp, right? What assessment are you doing for them and why?
Well, I have a full physical, physiological, and movement assessment that we go through. We use a form of FMS, and we also use a form that I cater towards more of the fighting realm, right? And then obviously, when you're talking about assessments day by day, this always has to be known. So every time that they go through their warm-ups, we're assessing them as they go through their movement patterns. Because at the end of the day, this is a combat sport, it's a contact sport, so every day is an assessment.
Yeah, I know it from the training here that sometimes the training program changes because some fighters are, I don't know, injured or they have some pain or you see them that's something is wrong, so that's the assessing, right?
Yeah, I mean, you see it firsthand that, we have to make sure that we are able to auto-regulate and call an audible every time. There's times where these guys are going to have bumps and bruises. They're going to come in one day very, very healthy, and then the next day, not so healthy. So we got to make sure that we have the right tools and the methodologies to actually put out a plan B if we need some.
Yeah, understand. And you are doing with the fighters a lot of max strength training. In Czech Republic, and I think not only in Czech Republic, but a lot of fighters are training, even though they are in camp, like a circuit training, circuit type of training. But we are training here a lot of max strength. Can you tell us why the max strength is important for fighters?
Well, when you're talking about mixed martial arts, they are getting a ton of conditioning inside their skills training. And with that being said, they're constantly being stimulated with that conditioning aspect. What they do not get a whole lot is absolute strength, which will increase force production, which will then increase and potentiate into power. So we want to make sure that we are constantly stimulating that force production so that we can increase our overall power output, getting closer to the fight. So every time I'm making sure that they touch a weight that's going to get them maximally strong so that we can increase relative strength and also potentiate into explosive power.
Okay. Understand. It's a question which I don't have here, but I think people should know. You don't do with fighters weightlifting. Can you tell us why?
Weightlifting is a sport in its own. It's highly technical, and a lot of the times, as you see, it takes a large amount of time to teach somebody just how to do a basic sumo deadlift or a basic squat. So for me to teach them something as high correlated as far as technique goes, it's going to be very hard. Plus, I want them focused on the true technique of the sport, not so much on weightlifting. Remember, they're not weightlifters, they're fighters. We just need to make sure that we give them the most efficient tool to use to be effective, to carry over or to transfer over into the sport.
Oh yeah, I understand. Can you tell us difference between training for a profi fighter and like an experienced fighter, what they should focus on in their strength and conditioning training?
For the most part, when you're talking about a fighter that's been in the game for a while now, you want to work on mobility and movement control, right? They need to be able to control the body and have the capacity to withstand load and produce force. So the main concept that we need to realize is that we need to actually gain control in end ranges using things like functional range conditioning and other means of mobility so that they have the capacity to do the work ahead.
Okay, and also we are doing off-camp and in-camp GPP. They are doing it still. Why is that?
So I want to make sure that we maintain a level of fitness. We don't have a large off season, as you can tell, as you've seen. These guys will take fights on short notice. Some guys will turn around and fight right after their last fight. So we don't have a large amount of time for a preparatory phase, right? So we want to make sure that we are getting joint restoration, right? We're increasing muscular strength, and we're trying to decrease imbalances as much as we possibly can through repetition, method, effort, and through the overall GPP that we do for your accessories.
Yeah. Okay. Last question. Can you tell us 3 books which were like influential for you?
Influential. I would say it's gonna be funny because I'm a conjugate guy, so I'll say West Side Book of Methods by Louis Simmons. I would say Conscious Coaching by my guy Brett Bartholomew that you have.
Yeah.
And then I will say from a periodization or programming standpoint, I would say Science of Practice and Strength Training by Zasworsky.
Yeah.
And then for just an overall scheduling and just self-management book, I would say Organizing Tomorrow Today is a good book too as well.
Okay. Thank you for interviewing.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good job.